Oh, hey, welcome to another edition of Socrates Explains Everything. My name is Socrates. I like to explain things. Today's another one of those milestones. A odd term nowadays, but they used to put a rock on the road every mile. So you know every milestone. In this case, it's 5 million cases of coronavirus across the world. Yeah, not a good milestone by any amount. And in fact, this time it took 11 days. That's the quickest time between a million cases that I see here. It was 12 days last time, but we're growing at 100,000 cases a day at this point. And if anything, we've had the highest single day total of this entire outbreak recently. And hopefully that'll go down, but so far it's steady or actually trending upwards ever so slightly. And I'm here on a canal with a bunch of ducks, and there's some swans coming by in a minute, I think. Look for that during the next depressing few minutes. But anyway, let's look at the numbers real fast. And the U.S. now is still growing at 23,000 a day. And the way I look at this is the number of new cases is the most important number, because that's a leading indicator. And as there's fewer new cases a day, then that's the breaking the back of the virus. Told you there were swans. And but that's at 1.5% growth rate over the total number of cases, which is well over 1.5 million in the U.S. And so they're definitely not getting it to go down. It's trending down, but it's not trending anywhere near fast enough. Now Russia's moved up 3 places. And with 9,000 new cases in a day, they're at 3%. They've temporarily flattened it, but we'll have to see going forward if it goes up or if it stays at this level. At this point, it's not looking good. Worse is Brazil. They jumped up 4 places with 20,000 new cases in the last day. That's a 7% over the previous total of the outbreak. So it's an incredible. The power of the exponential number. You can just look back at the other videos. Brazil was way down the list, and now they're 3rd in the entire world. Again, not a place you want to be. And the UK, they haven't been able to quite stomp it out with 2,000 new cases, but under 1%, so at 0.8%, which is in the right direction, slowly, but it's definitely going in the right direction, and they have been improving it. But it looks like it's going to fester for a little while. Then you have Spain, a mere 500 new cases, and that's getting right to the end of it, and 0.2%, so really quite low. And you can see some of these places with a really massive early outbreak. Social distancing, all these measures really worked. Italy, 600 new cases, a very small number, again, the same as Spain, 0.2%. And they both had an out-of-control outbreak. Germany, also just 700 new cases. Again, 0.4%, not as low, but still very low. Turkey, they're down to 900 new cases in the last day. And an incredible job of tamping down an out-of-control outbreak as well, only growing at 0.6%. Compare that with Iran, with 2,000 new cases, growing at 1.5%. They had tamped it down. Maybe they're testing more, but you can see the numbers are going up consistently, and not in a good way. And then you have India with 6,000 new cases and a 5% growth rate. It's essentially out of control in India, much like Brazil, and there's a lot of people in India, so that's definitely a big worry. Peru has consistently been growing here, 4,000 new cases and a 4% growth rate, right on the edge of out of control. They have to keep more effort to get rid of it, because you can see Canada down to 1,000 new cases and only 1%, and then here in the Netherlands with a mere 200 new cases and a 0.5%, 0.5% growth rate. So almost got rid of it here, which is a good thing for me, because this is where I live, and we compared a lot of times to Sweden, who was slowly catching up to us. They had 700 new cases, which is 2.2%, and I think I'd prefer to be at 0.5% than 2.2. And the new one on my list here is Bangladesh, unfortunately for them, at 1,500 new cases and a 5% growth rate in a very dense country. I would worry very much about Bangladesh going forward. And of course the two good ones was South Korea with a mere 32 cases, but that's also 0.2%. So as compared to the total number of cases, they're growing about the same as Spain and Italy. And New Zealand had only 4 cases, but with just over 1,500 cases, now that's also 0.2%. So at this point, opening the world is going to increase the exposure to a certain degree, but as long as we take other measures, it shouldn't be that bad. So have to be vigilant. I'm not letting that water go in the canal. And see, be vigilant, take care of your stuff, keep your water bottles close, and don't get coronavirus. Hopefully I won't do one of these for 6 million, but I got a feeling there's at least one more to go, which is unfortunate. At least the weather's nice. It's getting dark though.